welcome to the channel. I'm Amanda and today we are here with my first impressions of using acrylic gouache. I decided to buy some just to see what they were like. A lot of artists on YouTube use them and I just thought it would be fun to test them out and see what's happening. So I got the primary colours. I got the yellow, I got scarlet, ultramarine blue. I also got burnt umber because I want a darker colour, and I got a bigger tube of titanium white. So the painting that I'm going to do today is actually a gift for somebody that has just recently moved house, and I wanted to practice doing houses anyway with my 100-day project. So this is kind of a two-in-one sort of video. I am testing the acrylic gouache, we're going to see how that works out, and I'm also going to be doing another painting for my 100-day project, and it's also a gift for somebody. So let's get into the video, shall we? I'm Amanda, and here at ALLJArt we make mistakes, learn from them, encourage each other and grow together. So if you want to join in on the journey of becoming the artist that you want to be, then hit subscribe and the bell and come along for the ride. So I have my paper here, I have a little plate that I'm going to be using, a rag that I've been using for my watercolours for a while. I have my paints here. I have used these before. I painted a couple of things over the weekend, but this is still going to be first impressions because I don't know, it's just gonna be. So this is going to be, or maybe is going to be for Liz, but it might not be because I'm going to paint a couple of things. I'm going to paint houses, but I'm also going to paint doors because I love painting doors. So I want to paint a door, and if I really like the door, it just depends. Whichever one I like the best is going to be the one that's going to Liz. So I'm going to actually move this out the way just now because I want to draw just a little door. It's not going to be too fancy. Maybe I kind of want it off to the side. If you don't know me and you don't follow me on other social medias, you probably won't know this, but I have a fascination with doors. Whenever I am going somewhere on a day trip with my dad, I always take pictures of doors. So I have references everywhere of doors. So I'm not using a reference right now. I might use a reference from a door that I have taken a picture of, but just now I'm just taking it from my head, just trying to remember what kind of doors I've actually seen in my travels. So I've drew a rectangle for the door. I actually don't think this one in particular is going to be the one that I give to Liz because I have something in mind for her. I have loads of other little details and elements that I want to put in it, and this one that I'm drawing just now doesn't have that many elements in it. It just has a few things. So I wish I knew what Lizzie's favourite colour was, because if I did that, if I knew that, then I probably would make the door her favourite colour, but I do not. So we are gonna just put a little step here. It's not going to be too accurate though, I'm not going to do guides or anything, I'm just going to draw. Maybe I want some fallen leaves, so there would have to be a tree here somewhere. Something else needs to be up here though. I think I'm going to have the door number here. I'm just going to put my favourite number on here, which is 6. I don't want the building to be cut off. I want this all to be the building. But I do want... Hold on. Let's finish off this step first. I know it's wonky, but I actually quite like that. So I don't really want to put too much detail down here. I was going to put fallen leaves, but I think I'm just going to corner that off like that. And have a wall here in front of this step, and the tree's going to go in this wall, I think. I'm not very good at drawing trees. Maybe we'll have some bushes here, a bush that's fallen off. We don't want it to be just a door, we want some nice details. So there's the bush there. I want it to be a knobbly tree like a knobbly tree. Okay, basically. This is all going to be flowers and things here. So, there's the sketch. Obviously, I think I actually might... I don't really want to restrict myself with lines, but I'm going to do it anyway. Because I want the door to have some detail on it. I don't want just the door to be boring. We're going to have a middle part. Well, first of all, we need a frame, so let's do the frame first. down the middle. I kind of like these little things that are always at the bottom of the doors. They're like kick shields or something, I think. I'm not entirely sure. And I want the handles to be, I want this door to be quite fancy, so I want the handles to be, well, they're going to be in the middle here, and I want them to be on top of a sticky outy bit. So many amazing terms for this. So good. I think I'm feeling blue, to be honest, because I want these flowers up here to be pink and then have some greenery in it, and then I'll have blue. So sort of like more, I don't want any yellow in it. Haven't really thought about the colour scheme, to be honest. Thanks to The Sims, I know how to simplify those. Okay, and then I want these to be glass with some sort of detailing in them, sort of like my front door, to be honest. So that's where I'm getting the inspiration from, is just doors that I've seen around and my door. My door's kind of subtle, but I want this to be a little bit more prominent, so I think I'll make the details in this door really dark, maybe brown and black mixed together. Not brown and black, brown and blue mixed together. So I'll leave the details for after. The background is going to be white, but I do want to add some detail into it, so I'm gonna get this white. I'm gonna need a lot of white for this, actually. Now, my first impression when I put these paints out, is that they're very liquidy. They're not thick at all, so you don't really want to use water with these, because obviously you don't really need to, to be honest. I'm going to use this brush, which I got, it's new. It's a Silver Silk 88 round brush, and it's by, I think that's the company, Silver. I thought they would be quite like my black velvet brushes, but for acrylic, and I think they're from the same company because the writing is exactly the same. So this is a number 4, but look how chunky this is compared to this one. This is a number 6. But it's not chunky. This one's a 4 and it's chunky. This is synthetic, I think anyway. So I'm wetting the brush, but I'm drying it quite a lot so that I don't have too much water on my brush. And I want to make a grey colour, so I'm going to come over here, and this is going to be my grey colour over here. I'll do the background first. I'm just going to mix some brown in with that, which is a nice taupe colour actually. I really like that colour. That's really nice. A tiny bit of blue to cool it down a little bit. Add in a bunch of white. And I'm gonna go, maybe I should, let me see. No! Ah! Alright, I'll hold it then. There was me looking for my needed eraser and it's right in front of me. Okay, so I am going to, wow, it's been 15 minutes already. I need to get used to when to talk, when to be quiet, what to cut out with these videos. I'm learning. I think it's going to take me some time to get the sweet spot, so please bear with me while I babble on. Right, so I'm not going to use any water, and we're just going to, I think this side's going to be the shadow side, so I'm going to put some on here, and we're going to use a sort of dry brushing effect. I'm really not touching the paper that much, just swooping it along, just to give a sort of brick texture really. Add another little bit of white. So I noticed when I was playing with these before that I need to really change my paint style to use these to their potential. You can use them in a very painterly, blendy way, but I really like the look of them when they're used just not blended. It's good to just put dots of colour here and there, and I did pick this up from April. She puts a flat layer of colour down and then she adds in some details afterwards, and I really like that look. So now it looks a mess right now, but I'll fix it, don't worry. I'm going to clean off my brush. I gotta stop talking like this as a tutorial because it's not, it's just first impressions. To start with, I didn't really like the consistency of this paint. It did feel a little bit too watery for me, but obviously that's something that has to be played with and I have to get used to it through experimenting with things. So I'm hoping that I will get used to it with time. Now I'm a bit scared about this, but I can put those, I put those details in again, or before, so I can do it again. So that's my whole way of getting around that, covering up the lines, because this is something that I really struggled with normal gouache, was just losing my details. Yeah, you can get really nice pastel colours with this. So I'm just gonna paint a rectangle basically. The paint goes on really smooth and it is quite opaque, so I do like that about it. Although when you mix the paint more, it does seem to get a little bit more streaky. It's all about practice and just being patient with yourself, because even when there is a slight change in medium, it does take a while to get used to things. So don't expect to be able to pick up something and just be able to do it straight away. And because I'm used to light watery washes, this is quite difficult to get used to, because this is a paint that prefers not too much water and a little bit more paint. So yes, that's just what I've gathered from using it anyway. I didn't record my first impressions because I just really wanted to play with the paint and not worry about having to record it. And I'm glad I did that, because I don't think that I will ever paint like I did at the weekend with this paint again. I might paint with normal gouache like that, or watercolour and gouache together, but not with this. It's not meant for that. So I'm just gonna use this to paint flat colour with details. I'm just gonna get this smaller brush and just do a line down here. This paper is textured, and I think that maybe I might actually prefer hot press with this paint, just because I really want a flat look, and having different papers can really affect the style that you go for. If you have cold press paper, it's really textured, so it might come across on the page a little bit differently than you expected it to. So I'm just mixing some of this brown, which I love this brown. April was right. She said when I took a picture of this and sent it to her, well, sent it to everybody in the group, April said that this is a good colour, and I agree. It is really nice. I do like it. I like it a lot. So I'm going to add a little bit of water to it. And this is going to be the shadow. Now what I do like about this paint is that obviously you can paint over it, but also you can paint quite close to edges that you've already painted recently, and it won't really spread into each other. So I feel like you have a lot more control with this paint than you would if you were using watercolour or gouache, normal gouache, because you're not using as much water, so it does help a lot. So this is in focus, I don't know, but what I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by my memory card being full was that I started trying to paint it like I used to, and I'm trying not to do that. I'm trying to do it very graphical, so I went over and just painted the top step with this, and then I just want to put in details on the top. So I'm trying my hardest to change my painting style, but once you have been in a certain way for a while, it's kind of hard to change your ways. So yes, I kind of want to put a little bit of warm on this underneath. It's just weird because it's a completely different style, and I don't know if it looks good or not. So I guess it's just if you think it looks good, as in the person who's painting. If the person who's painting thinks it's good and it looks good, then it's fine. Because that's all that matters, right? Anyway, so I think that's cool. And then I want this part of the step to be a little bit darker because it's going to be in shadow. So the paint dries so fast but also slow. If you get what I mean. I don't know what I mean either, so don't worry if you don't. So I'm gonna make this darker. I am noticing that I'm really annoyed with the texture of this paper. I think it could be cool if you could use it to your advantage and actually like have that texture coming through, because look, you could make a lot of dry brushing. But I think for these kind of paintings that I want to do, I want to make it a lot more smooth, but I've never been a hot press kind of person. I don't really enjoy painting hot press, so I don't have any hot press paper, unfortunately. Unless I did it in a sketchbook or I could find hot press paper. We're either going to have to deal with it or splash out more money for more paper. And I do want to test that, because if I like doing it more with smoother paper, then obviously I would have a better time painting with it. So I'm going to leave that to dry, and then I'll do these little things on the floor here, which I want to be a little bit browner. I'm thinking maybe I could bring them up there as well, but not sure. So I'm trying to paint as flat as possible, and like I said, it's really hard because of this paper. I'm gonna, once I've done this, I'm gonna go through and see if I can find hot press paper, because I know I had some Fabriano hot press paper. So I'll see if I can find that, and then we'll have a little play on it, because I don't like the fact that you can't get a smooth edge without going over it 100 times, and then you might go outside the lines and stuff. Not a fan of that. Oh, I really want hot press paper now. I feel like going to the shop and getting hot press paper, but I would have to drive half an hour. And we don't have time for that. Let's have a recap, shall we, so that I remember what we're doing. We're talking about first impressions of this. So, first impression, it comes out the tube quite runny. Runnier than I thought it would. And it's quite nice to lay down. A little bit dry of an application on cold press paper. I think it would be better with hot press or smoother paper. Hard for me to change my painting style, so I feel like I am, well, I'm not forced, but I feel like this paint is better used for bold graphical styles, flat coverage and details, rather than mixing it together, blending and painterly styles basically. So that's what I'm struggling with right now. But I do enjoy painting with it because I'm not worried about making sure it's blending in and using too many different colours. So we'll see. Okay, I kind of want to put these shapes on this wall as well. I do like it with more water, but I am aware that it is acrylic, so you have to be careful with the amount of water. I wonder what it would be like if you use a retarder or something, if that would help. Because the thing that I didn't like about actual acrylic paint is that it was too dry, and I didn't really want to add too much water into it, and it didn't blend well. So I think, obviously, since we're not going for a blended style, that's fine, but to make it go a little bit smoother without adding too much water in, you could use a retarder to thin it down and to slow down the drying as well. So I have some of that, I might try that as well. I do like the opaqueness of this paint though, it's very opaque. And I enjoy that. I enjoy it being really opaque, so I'm happy with that. I just feel like I need to practice with it more, but do I really want to be adding another medium into this? I think what this will be good for me is if I want to do a gouache painting but I don't want a layer to lift up, then maybe I could use the acrylic gouache for that layer and then use gouache on top of it, because I still have no idea what way I want my art to go yet, so still got a lot of things to play with. Okay, I like that. Now, tree. My tip for you is if you are going to use a plate like me, to wash the plate off and get all the old paint off before you do this, because you do get little bits coming up and it's really annoying. Okay, I think I'm going to need more water than that just to smooth it out a bit. Oh, that was fun. I like it when it goes on smooth and I can do one stroke. So I do definitely think that hot press would be better for me in this style. Hopefully I'll have at least a little bit of hot press paper hanging around somewhere. Okay, so that's the tree, and I want to do branches up here. I don't want them to be too thick, but it doesn't matter because we'll be covering it up with greenery and flowers anyway. Okay, I think that'll do for the tree. Now I do want a little bit of separation between the house and the planter thing that's on the side, so I think I'm going to just paint that grey as well. And most of this will also be covered up, so it's not too big of a deal if some weird things happen. Now, what colour should I make the... Should I make that grey too? Probably, maybe grey with a black letter, number I mean. I can't believe that happened. No! There we go. Now I need to fix whatever I did then. Not being very good at showing you this, am I? I'm trying my hardest. Okay, so we need yellow, chunky brush. The thing that I like about this brush is that it's long handled. Usually I like short handled brushes, but with acrylic paint and gouache and things, I've actually been really enjoying using long handled brushes. So that's another thing that I thought that I would tell you. Okay, so we want the first dollop of green to be quite dark, maybe with some brown in it. Put some shapes. I want to do that light there, so I don't really want that white, that branch to go that far, but we can cover it with white a little bit in a minute. I want it to be darker, but I don't know how to make it darker. Like that. Okay, now we're going to try and do the details of the door a little bit. I'm going to turn it around this way so that it's easier for me to do the details. Okay, so we want the door frame. Technically I should have some sort of white trim around this. I don't like it to be that thick, but I don't think I have a thinner brush. Well, that's much better. I wish I did it all with that. Oh well, that's just going to be thick then. Okay, so there's the door trim. Now we need the little things at the bottom. I kind of want to put a middle line down there though. Down there though. This is turning out cool, I like it. It's a bit less colourful than what I was going for, but I think once we add the flowers it'll look nice, and maybe some fallen petals down here too. Okay, so that's what I wanted, and then we want a little thing up here. kick plate or whatever they're called. Should I put one on the top too to make it symmetrical? Probably not, but we're going to do it anyway. Ah! Let's put my hand in the green. Is this looking ridiculous yet? Probably. I do like the fact that I can use paint to add details. It's like drawing or doing line art or something with paint, which I like because I don't really like line art, but if I'm using a paintbrush it does feel nicer. So I don't know how to get a thinner brush though. In fact, I want my lines to be consistently thinner than this. I don't think I have a brush that will do that. Let's see what other brushes I do. I do have a long liner brush, I think that might help. Liner brush, oh yeah. This is the stuff that we want. Just a really thin line. Yes! I love it! Okay, I really like this. Even though it doesn't look up to the standard that I would expect myself to have, it's a completely different style, it's a completely different medium. So I'm not going to beat myself up about it like I usually do. If I did this and the art didn't come out as planned, I mean I don't draw doors often and I don't use acrylic gouache often either. This is my first time, well my second time using it, so I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, that's exactly the colour that I wanted. This brush is not good for colouring in things. Okay, now the handle is going to be black, or as close to black as we can get with the colours that we have. So I kind of need a little bit more blue. I don't want to put too much out though because I think I'm done with the blue almost. So just a little. In fact, you know what? I'll do what I've seen April do. I don't know if anybody else does that, but I know that April does that. Sticks her paintbrush inside the tube. Oh my god. Oh, this camera. I was saying, I really like this. I really like the fact that you can do little tiny details and it's really illustrative and cute, say, and I think that I could, with a bit of practice, get really good at doing this and make really cute illustrations with really fine details. I really like it for that. I didn't feel like I could do that with watercolour because there's so much water that it's really hard to get thin lines, whereas with this there's hardly any water, but if you get it to the right consistency it's quite good. I don't know how to do the actual number though, but I'm gonna try. My camera keeps cutting off and it's really annoying me. That's so cute. Should I put little like bolts on it? Oh! Oh, and then this thing here as well. Okay, so we want this to be a little bit of red mixed with white. Actually, I don't want to do the flowers yet. I want to do more green, don't I? Damn it. That's a lot of paint wasted there. Okay, we want... I don't want it to look too uniform. Maybe I should take a little tutorial on how to paint bushes. Alright, I really like this. It's so simple, but I just love it. So I'm really happy with this. I don't think I will send this one to Liz though, because there are, like I said, there's another one that I kind of want to do to Liz. For Liz, not to Liz. I don't want to do anything to Liz, I just want to give her a little present for moving house. Okay, so we want... Oh, so cool. So cute. Basically what you should do is get a bunch of white and add the colour to it gradually rather than adding the white to the colour. We're going to do the light. that. Cover up that mistake that I made. Okay, I kind of want it to start here, come down here, come around here, and end there. Start there. How do I do that the other way? So I'm going to cover this up. Gonna let that dry. I'm gonna have a look at my front door. My front door looks completely different from what I had in my head. I thought it had black details on it. It doesn't. It has frosted leaves inside it. I wanted to put some like highlights on the tree. Some dots. That's literally all that I wanted to do. And I put that amount of paint out. I got a black pen here. I don't think it's dry. Still. No, it's not. It's not dry. But I'm just carving it out with this pen. I don't use this pen often anyway, but really should just wait until this dries really. But I'm not doing it. I'm still etching into this paint. It doesn't even take that long to dry and I'm just like so impatient. There we go. I like that. So let's take off this tape and see what it looks like without it. There's the finished illustration. I really like it. What do you think? Tell me in the comments below. I want to do another one. Should we do another one? Let's do another one. Okay. Editing me here because I got carried away. I did make another one. Thank you so much for watching. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you thought about this in the comments below. If you have ever used acrylic gouache, tell me what you think of it. I like it, but I do think that I need a lot more practice with it. So more videos like this to come, maybe. If you like this style of video, tell me that in the comments below as well. And I will see you next time. Bye!